let's kick it off with our lead story with the gladiator, Peter Doocy, Fox News reporter, sparring with White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre over rising gas prices. Now let's take a little trip down memory lane here real fast, because Joe Biden was elected and yet gas prices increased roughly 40%. Vladimir Putin decided it was a good idea to invade Ukraine, and gas prices continue to increase. And what did the White House do? You think they blamed Joe Biden for that? No. They blamed Vladimir Putin. They called it the Putin price hike. And they never started when Joe Biden was in office. No. They started when Russia invaded Ukraine. And then what we saw months later, prices started trickling down. And so you had Joe Biden coming out with his walker, doing a victory lap. Karine Jean-Pierre was up there on the podium every single day with a nice spreadsheet showing a negative slope for gas prices, taking all the credit for it. Well, now we have gas prices going back up, and I wonder who they're going to blame again. I guarantee you they're going to blame Vladimir Putin, because the theme of today's show is that Democrats never take personal responsibility for anything. It's always anybody and everybody else's fault except their own. Let's go ahead and see it in real time with Peter Doocy. Question her again on gas prices. Let's go ahead and roll it.
Okay. Thanks, Karine. You've said the president was responsible for gas prices coming down. Is the president responsible for gas prices going up?
So it's a lot more nuance than that, right? Peter, you know this. There have been global challenges that we have dealt with. When I say all, meaning other countries as well, have dealt with since the pandemic. There's been pandemic and there's been Putin's war. And Putin's war has increase gas prices at the pump. We have seen that over the past several months. And what the president was able to do, he took some historic steps when you think about the Strategic Petroleum Reserve and making sure that we were able to do everything that we can to bring that cost down for American families, give them a little bit more of a breathing room. And we saw that. We saw that every day this summer, saving American families over $1 per gallon. And so that is what the president's going to continue to stay focused on, to our American consumers. How do we continue to keep prices down? That's why we did the
You gotta love this whole aspect, and I'll continue in a moment, but you gotta love them saying that they're saving you $1. It's been going up since he's been in office. They're not saving you anything. You're still spending more. You saving money would be gas prices being lower than they were when Joe Biden took office. Then yes, you'd be saving money. Meaning if he came into office and it was $3 a gallon, by then pushing down to $2 a gallon, would then you saving $1? But no. They're gonna push this whole thing. The whole thing is, if they're saving you money, they're doing you a favor, you guys. They're helping out you all here, which isn't helping at all, because now that summer's over, what do we see? Gas prices going back up. What do we see? Oh, it's Putin's fault again. What do we see? Oh, it's more nuanced. It's nuanced, Peter, okay? And you know that. But it wasn't nuanced when you were all doing a victory lap, posting stuff on Twitter, chauffeuring out Joe Biden and everybody else, the energy secretary, ranting and raving about the work that he's doing by tapping into our petroleum reserve, which is supposed to be left for hurricanes like Florida, or a military usage if and when that was to happen with this whole Russia-Ukraine, or sending stuff to our allies. But no. What did they do? They sent stuff to China. They sent about 1 million barrels to China, in which, guess who had a little bit of some money dove into that investment? What's his name? Oh, it's Biden's son. It's Hunter Biden, who had a little bit of investments. But they don't want to bring that up here because they're doing everything they can for you folks, because now you're saving a little more than $1. Yeah, right. Let's continue.
Inflation Reduction Act. That's why we talk about the CHIPS Act. All of these things are going to help Americans here in this country.
And there are consumers now in California paying $6.41 a gallon for gas. Nevada, $5.51. Oregon, $5.46. Who can afford that?
And we understand that. That's why the president worked so hard the past several months to make sure that he did everything we can to bring gas prices down. We have seen fastest. I know you're pulling out a couple of areas across the country, and I get that, and we understand that there's more work to do. We have never said we were done here. We have always been very clear that there is more work to do, but we have seen, the reality is, we have seen the fastest decline in gasoline prices in over a decade. That's because of what this president has done. And again, prices going down by more than $1 per gallon. And these are real savings. You're talking about $100 per month in savings for an average family with 2 cars.
When the president
folks, It's just a bunch of BS. We've all seen it time and time again. I read your comments. You all see it as well. It's just like, I love how they list out everything that they do on certain things, and the very things that they do pretty much have no effect on what they're doing, and things just get worse. Gas price is just one of the many issues that you could spotlight that on. Or you could look at the immigration thing, how she'll give a litany of things that Joe Biden's done. He's lost sleep over it. He's doing everything he possibly can, and you still have record-breaking numbers. Same thing with gas prices. Pretty much on every level, Joe Biden's doing everything he possibly can, and everything just continues to get worse. And otherwise she goes, oh, well, he did this over summer. You know, he was working really hard. Does that mean he stopped working on it because gas prices went up? Like, what do you mean by that messaging? It just continues to get worse here.
To Saudi Arabia, he said, I'm doing all I can to increase the supply for the United States of America, which I expect to happen. What happened?
So I want to be very clear, and we have said that, you know, his trip to the Middle East was not about oil. It was about America's position in the Middle East and consultation with 12 leaders from across the region on a range of issues similar to his summits in Asia.
She just got done saying that this guy's doing anything and everything he can. And then you have the balls to sit there, and the dude went to one of the most richest oil countries in the world. And you're gonna be like, yeah, he didn't talk about oil at all. Is anybody losing their mind over that? Yeah, he's doing everything he can, but nope, not a lick of the word oil came out. Nothing whatsoever. But he's doing everything he can, you guys. You're saving $1 at the pump, okay? All because of the Inflation Reduction Act. I'm laughing. I want to laugh through this whole thing because it's so stupid. She is so bad at her job. She's going to sit there and say with the Saudi Arabia never talked about gas or oil. Nope. This White House is so bad. So all you could do is laugh, you guys. There's either two routes. We continue to get pissed off every day, or we can have some fun with it and just laugh at these knuckleheads, this clown show, trying to put on a basically a terrible performance here and lie to the American public each and every day. Sometimes we're going to get pissed. Sometimes we're going to laugh. But today is just all about laughing because boy, oh boy, are they pushing one on the American people here.
Or the Americas, and later this year with African leaders. The president's trip was crucial. It was critical to U.S. national security, a more peaceful, integrated region, and for global security. And there were plenty of examples that we laid out to all of you as to why this trip was so important. But aside from that, the president took action. As I just mentioned, he took action these past several months, and every day in this summer, you saw prices tick down at the pump. But we didn't just stop there. We saw legislative actions, historic actions that the president took to make sure that we're continuing to create jobs in America. We're continuing to lower prices. So there are multiple actions that this president has taken.
You also got to love that aspect of her talking about the summer, right? Remember that question? And I forget who asked it. I don't know if it was Phil Wegman, Peter Doocy, or Jackie Henrich. One of them asked a question, and she was kind of kept emphasizing that she wants to talk about the here and now. She doesn't want to talk about the past. But that's all she's doing here is talk about the summer. She's talking about the past. She doesn't want to talk about the here and now, of which the questions we're talking about, the here and now, what's going on. Why did things not work out? You took all the credit before. Why don't you want to take the credit now? Because again, it's just a theme with that party. They don't want to take personal responsibility. And I'm not saying you don't see it from the Republican Party. You do. And I think we need to do a better job as Republicans and conservatives to call out our own party when we don't take responsibility for the things that we put into place. But boy, oh boy, it's very far and few between that you're going to see a Democrat rise up and be like, oh, whoops, that's our fault. We probably shouldn't have done it. Maybe the best you're going to get is Joe Manchin on the Inflation Reduction Act, of him actually saying, yeah, you know what? Whoopsie, it's not going to reduce inflation and do what it says it's going to do in the name, but typical shenanigans from the Democrats. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.